So I'm just going to basically read you guys right off the website. Most of you, I have a feeling, haven't seen it on the website. A handful of you probably have. So yeah, just please be quiet while I explain all this to you. I know it'll suck, but just bear with it. I'm not a fan of explaining things, but it's got to be done. So, okay. The bootcamp idea will start as of February 7th. It's a Friday. Regular day will be Saturdays, but I work an odd shift tomorrow. That's why. And we'll do two sessions. One will be at 3:30 to 4:30 Eastern. It'll last for an hour or less, depending on how quickly we get to things and how quickly people learn to shut up and listen. And we'll do one from 8 to 9 p.m. Later that exact same night. So we'll have two sessions a day, just in case people can't get on during the day or some people can't get on during the night. Makes it a bit more flexible for people. This is the order I'm going to be hosting the lessons. It's essentially like school in terms of lessons. I'm going to make sure everyone gets it before I move on. So let's say everybody but UK gets lesson 1. I'm still going to wait for UK to understand and get lesson 1 before I move on. We'll be doing one lesson a week. That may be subject to change depending on how the boot camp goes. With a cycle. So once lesson 12 is reached, lesson 1 will start the following week again. So lesson 12 will end on, say, January 30th, and then 1 week again from that day, lesson 1 will start over again.
Yeah, I'm getting feedback from Asians, Mike.
Yeah, it's normal. I just kind of wanted to go with it.
Yeah, but it's messing up the recording.
All game sessions... Oh, okay, yeah. All game sessions and audio will be recorded for training and testing purposes, either by me or Godsife, depending on which. I'm so not re-explaining this 1-0 and Phoenix getting in here. Fuck no.
That's alright, they can read this out.
Yeah. Lesson 1, situational awareness and class customization. Blech. What makes a good class good and what makes a bad class bad. So essentially, what perks are good to run in hardcore, what perks are good to run in core, what is effective in core and hardcore, and what is ineffective in core and hardcore. What weapons have steady damage and accuracy at a certain range, and what weapons are better suited for close quarters combat compared to long range. So for an example, the Maverick, it's great for close range, but I wouldn't want to go sniping with it. Just like the CBJ, I would be good with close quarters, but wouldn't want to go sniping with it. LMGs are pretty versatile, so yeah. Lesson 2, learning the map. This might be dragged out through several classes, so it'll be essentially getting yourself familiar with each map, figuring out which ones are kind of... Fuck you too. Which ones are kind of your thing. So, learning, say, an ignition, which game type people are going to run from. So domination, people run at the start, or right at the middle, sorry. Search and rescue, they may run up the right side instead. Prison break, people usually go the left side and camp there. Or strike zone, people usually rush pro shop. There'll be certain areas in the map where you can shoot through as well to kind of get a bit of a head starter. There's some places where you can whip a grenade over the side of the map.
What the hell is this all about?
Don't interrupt.
What?
Don't interrupt.
Sorry.
Okay. Lesson 3 will be learning the spot, so essentially where people are going to camp, where people like to tend to linger around, so that way they can kind of get a drop on you. So in Prison Break, for example, search and rescue, you run from the bottom of hill, where you guys spawn, to the left side. People always like to camp by that truck around the corner, that little nook and cranny, and sometimes people actually jump out if they hear footsteps and just start spraying wildly. It's a good way to die. Also in Prison Break, if you go up the hill and search and rescue after spawning at the bottom of the hill, on offense, people will not be in that tower looking right over the top of the hill. So they see you on that thermal site, they're going to drop you. Lesson 4, how to properly communicate with teammates. This is something that I hope to see a lot of people at because of the factor that we struggle severely with this sometimes. Learning callouts to the map, learning how to properly coordinate where your callouts are from. So, you die in the center of the map, you can't figure out what to call it, we're going to help you with that. Basically, it's using what's around you to kind of identify where you died from, and using the direction that you died from to kind of coordinate where they are. So let's say Overlord. you get shot by the boxes directly in front of the building underneath the steel catwalk on A side. They shoot you from the top of Humvee Hill. All you have to say is, I'm down by the boxes underneath steel catwalk, they shot me from Humvee Hill. So that kind of gives people a direction of where you got shot from, where the enemy's going, where you were going, and how they killed you. Whether it be explosive, something like that. It's pretty easy to say, hey, I got killed. Is it helpful? Not really. I could say a pigeon just fucking shit. Where is he gonna shit? Who's it gonna land on? Essentially, that's the principle of it. So, the more you can kind of tactically understand where the calls are coming from, and the better you can actually do the calls yourself, the more of an advantage you give your teammates, and the more of an advantage you actually give yourself. Because once you become familiar with it, it'll become like second nature. If we start doing stuff like professional gaming, even in Clan Wars helps out a lot. We start doing GB again or anything like that, it's a severe advantage that a lot of teams actually don't do. They don't have it down pat. More people are doing it now, but hey, it's always something to do.
GB?
Game battles. Anyway.
Oh.
So, lesson 5, what different parts of the maps are called, and that kind of ties in with lesson 4. Lesson 6, what to do against a team of campers. I can't stress how many times I've seen somebody call out, hey, they're camping in this area, and for some reason, I've seen us do it more than any other group I've played with. Everyone decides to do the fucking retard dog face going, huh? Let's run that way, huh? And I see like 3 or 4 guys run over there trying to get the kill and just get dropped. Team deathmatch, that's the easiest way for us to lose. I know it sucks sometimes, but when the enemy's camping, sometimes it's better to just either sit down, figure out something to do, and just wait. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm saying this right now, we'll be more patient than they will. It takes some pretty hardcore fucking campers to outcamp a team who actually knows what they're doing. It sucks to sit in one place, it sucks to sit in one area, I know it does. I hate it. I don't like doing it. But when it comes to Clan Wars, if it gets us the win, do it. A lot of us are really interested in getting into Diamond Division, which, you know what, it's not a personal favorite of mine, but I look at it as the team as a whole. Yeah, sure, to get the win, I'll camp it out. To get the win, I'll throw out a tube and stuff like that, piss people off, do whatever it takes to win. Because it's better in the entire team, it's better in LLV, because this is what a majority of LLV wants, is to be in Diamond Division, to get that new camo, to get that new achievement, to get those new patches, etc. So, sometimes making sacrifices for your team kind of works out in the better, because you get a good feeling afterwards. Like, yeah, you may not have gone fucking 50 positive like you wanted to, but when you look down the leaderboard and see that a lot of your teammates went positive, a lot of people had a good amount of captures and, say, domination, or a lot of people had a good number of defends and blitz, stuff like that, kind of gives you a good feeling inside. And something comfortable. What to do against team rushers, we'll cover that. That's lesson 7. It's pretty much, it's straightforward. If they're rushing you, bunker up. Bunker up, be ready, expect which way they're going to come to you. Rushers will always take the shortest route in the map possible to get to you. Prison Break, for example, that's over the middle hill and around the bend in the big hill. So over stumps and around the big hill. Lesson 8, learning to adapt to a new playstyle. There are a lot of people who, let's say for Jerry, who likes to run around with a knife. A goal for that lesson would be to get Jerry out of his comfort zone. Try and get him to maybe use a gun, maybe start camping it out, maybe start to look for kills more than play objectively. Whereas me, it would be more so look towards getting an objective than getting kills, or for Asian, work on getting kills more than the objective.
And for me, about the same thing.
Yeah.
More of the kills.
Learning how to become familiar with the playstyle. This is building on it. So you pick a playstyle that you kind of want: rushing, defending, objectively playing, tactically holding down an area, being supportive, being a sniper, something like a role that you would kind of stick to. This is becoming familiar with it, putting you in a situation where you can get very comfortable with it. I know there are people who will stand in the center of the map in Stonehaven and say, "Oh, I'm gonna snipe." They get dropped because they're obviously in the center of the map, sniping. And then they say, well, fuck this, I don't want to be a sniper, I'm dying too much. In every map, there's a good little spot. Phoenix proved it not too long ago. She sniped on strike zone and whooped some fucking ass. I'm telling you right now, she whooped some fucking ass.
I've done my fair share of beating her on Stonehaven. I know a good spot on domination. But the thing is, it requires holding down the satellite.
It's fine.
I agree with the whole... Oh, sorry, you go on.
I was just gonna say, I'm just trying to run through this, that way we can actually start the lesson, because I've got an hour to do this. I don't want to try and waste anyone else's time. This is the only time I'm going to be reading through this entire thing. It's on the website. I'm going to read through it today for both sessions, but other than that, I'm going to just go right with the lessons from regular.
Well, real quick, I agree with the whole running out while camping, like the whole team will be camping and then everyone runs out. I see my fair share of doing that. My trick, personally, I'm kind of guilty of running out in the open, but if you know where they're camping and you just so happen to know a way to where you could probably coordinate a pincer on them and try to push them out from behind. That's my specialty, is coming out behind them and taking them down. And it also proves an advantage, because if you can come up behind them and if you don't want to take them down, just let them know where exactly they're at. It proves an advantage, but at the same time, it also puts you on the open.
Fair deals. And at the end of each lesson, I'm going to give everyone a chance to speak and try and give their opinions on basically that lesson or anything that they have. But just for the main course of the lesson, I do understand your point completely. I don't mean to be rude by it. Just for the main course of the lesson, I would just want people to kind of hush and pay attention. I do understand completely what you're saying, though, and that is a good strategy, but it's hard to coordinate sometimes depending on who you're playing with. But
depending on who.
Yeah. Lesson 9, learning how to become... Oh, okay, scratch that. Lesson 10, learning how to identify objects to equipment without the use of sit rep. How many people can honestly say that they die by a fucking IED placed randomly in the fucking map? Not anywhere strategically, just fucking kaboom. Yeah. UK is fucking famous for this, because he runs into more IEDs than I fucking know anybody else. But I'll teach you guys a trick. Teach you guys a trick. You don't need sit rep. You just gotta think. If people are gonna play objectively, and 9 times out of 10 people do, there is that one asshole who just throws an IED randomly. People are gonna play objectively. Think. B-Dom on Siege. Where are people gonna put an IED? You have C-spawn, they have A-spawn. They're gonna put an IED over B-Dom into that little doorway, or up top. I can't tell you how many times I've thrown an IED upstairs through that window, gotten a double kill, gotten a single kill, and we've got B-Dom because of it, because I dropped those guys. The way you can actually detect an IED, and I'll explain that more in the lesson, as well as motion sensors, trophy systems, stuff like that, is by the sound of it. A lot of this game relies on sound. So you start to learn and run Amplify and start to actually, either crank your TV or use headphones. You can even use headphones into your TV, and those will act like turtle beaches for you. Be iPod headphones, for Christ's sake. They don't need to be surround sound. That's how I used to basically play, was with iPod headphones in my TV, and when I couldn't afford turtle beaches, that's what I would use. And I'm telling you this right now, in Search and Destroy and stuff like that, it helps out a lot. Lesson 11 would be learning how to adapt to a losing game. So when you get, let's say it's TDM, it's down 50 to 23, running out and continuously killing is probably not the best idea. You guys want to pick a nice spot in the map, kind of build up, fortitude it out, start dropping them. They're going to want to come to you, especially if they've got a lead like that on us. They're either camping their asses off, or they're rushing around and dropping us because they've got the draw on us. That's why it's good to sometimes, slow down in a map, camp it out, get the kills. Because in TDM, the win matters, kills matter. Lesson 12, this will be the most important lesson because it'll combine everything that you've learned through all the other lessons, as well as setting something new. It's called learning to speak up. I'm not going to explain too much about it, but all I'm going to say is, anybody here, I want to see a lesson 12. It's 12 weeks from now. I'd love to see people at lesson 12, because everyone here, even me, I'm guilty of it. But it's a very crucial lesson. Some lessons may continue on to the next week depending. So let's say lesson 2, learning the map, says right there on the website, it might be dragged out through several lessons, either for the entire lesson or for a piece of it. Just for the fact that there's so many maps to cover, there's so much information to cover on that map, so much spots, techniques, tactics. There's a lot to cover in a short amount of time. Alright. At the end of each lesson, I will allow 15 minutes for either a game for everyone to show each other else's spots, just to dick around, or just for people to pretty much talk. But for the first 45 minutes to the hour of the lesson, I ask that people remain quiet and just pay attention. You may have a spot that you like and want to share, but I ask that you keep it to yourself for that moment. I will ask halfway through, does anyone want to share anything at the end? Spots, tricks, etc. Give me your name. I will write it down. I've got attendance right here. It's basically like class. Write it down so that way you do get to share it, and I'll call it out at the end. So I'm pretty good with my memory. And even if I don't, just remind me. I won't mind. I want this to be a great experience for everyone, not just myself. I only benefit minorly from it. I will start to benefit majorly when I see the members of LLV getting through the lessons each time with understanding and ease. Because that way we actually gain a development. We gain a new skill, and it's working as a team properly. Me, I don't gain anything from hosting this right now, because right now I'm basically just running class. It's out of my time, so it's like, whatever. But when I see that everyone starts to benefit majorly from it, and I start to see everyone come together as a team, that's when I'm going to get the full effect of it, because that's building new teamwork with a brand new team. That's building new coordination, new talking methods, new skill, new tactics, new strategies with a new team. Not only that, you guys can pass all this stuff on. I would like to see a lot more people at boot camp, so I would like to see encouragement for other people to come, because right now, as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us here, which is pretty good. 8 out of 12, that's not bad. I'd like to see more, though. That's the order, and this is something I will warn everyone about. This boot camp I'm going to take seriously, so any members who feel they can't control themselves talking-wise and immaturity, don't attend. Because if you blab your mouth through it, if you blab your mouth through it all and can't learn to listen, then you're ruining the experience for everyone else. And you're also making it very difficult to work with people. And to make it fun and workable for everyone. If I have to, I will kick a disruptive member without a warning. I don't care if you're a general, a founder, a major, or even a recruit. I will kick your ass out of here if you're disrupting the class for everybody. Simple as that. If you have a problem with it, take it up with your general. I want this to be a fun and enjoyable learning experience for everybody. So, like I said, if there's any issues, especially with me kicking somebody out, by all means, take it to your general. I'll deal with them later. But, Godsafe, you're a general in here. I think you can vouch that this is pretty fair all around.
Absolutely. I don't think we'll have any problems with this bunch.
No. But it's there, right? So that way nobody can say, well, you never told me.
You got it.
Kind of read it out. It's on the video here that Godsafe is recording. It's on the website. It's on the Facebook. Sorry. Alright. So, situational awareness is lesson 1. Class customization and what makes a good class good and what makes a bad class bad. So, like any class, I'll ask a question. What is the most useless perk in hardcore?
Deadeye.
No, Deadeye is actually very useful in hardcore.
Personally.
I see you.
ICU is absolutely useless. You are correct.
That's a good answer, yeah.
Focus.
What is another useless perk in hardcore?
Focus.
No, focus is actually very, very useful. It's one that I use myself. Nope, wiretap is useful too. Travis runs that, and he does pretty good.
I said takedown, yeah.
Takedown, yep.
Takedown.
Whoever said takedown, you're right. Takedown is completely and utterly useless. Kill enemies without revealing their death locations. Nope, ping is useful.
I use UAV.
No, you don't need a UAV with ping. Activate a sonar ping upon killing an enemy. It acts like a temporary oracle for a few seconds. You see them. You see an orange outline. Yep.
It actually helps out when you're flanking.
What?
Can be alright.
Off the grid.
Off the grid is very useful, especially considering sometimes people will rack up SATCOMs. And it makes you immune to radar pings as well. So, if I'm running off the grid and somebody's thrown down a motion sensor triggered by enemy proximity tags the target, allowing them to be tracked through objects for a short time. That essentially is the exact same as ping. Creates a mini little oracle around them for a few seconds. Off the grid, off the grid, I'm immune to it. I can run by as many motion sensors as I want. They will not see me whatsoever. Who knows another useless perk that's in hardcore?
Gambler.
No, Gambler's pretty good because you can get any perk. I've gotten incog with that.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's pretty fucking
you
useful.
can get some really expensive perks with that.
Yeah. Gotten
True, I've gotten Deadeye every once in a while. What about On the Go?
No, on the go.
On the go? Reload while sprinting? No, it's still a pretty useful perk.
That's
It
personal
depends on your
preference.
playstyle.
I just said fun, to be fair, because you don't always need to be running.
What about the extra attachments and like?
Well,
Overkill.
that has more to do with your playstyle, which we'll be getting to in a different lesson.
Yeah.
But we're saying specifically
Both
for
of those-
hardcore.
Yeah.
I think
Both those.
recon.
Ah, there we go. Enemies hit with explosive damage are tagged and can be seen through objects for a short time. Most times, anybody who's tagged with an explosive in hardcore is gonna fucking die right away, unless they have
Let's
blast
put
shield.
Flashbang.
Oh yeah, that's right.
on them as
That's
well.
right. Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, danger close can be good for multiple enemies, but if you're just targeting one person, it's kind of useless.
But Danger Close
Not
is also
necessarily.
good at counteracting Blast Shield.
Yeah, I was gonna say the guy. Let's say we're facing a team. Their top guy is who's 24-0, about to get his chem strike. He's running blast shield. None of us have been able to kill him yet with bullets or explosive. I throw in danger close in my noob tube. I fire one right at him and kill him. I wouldn't have been able to do that without danger close. I've now
Speaking
stopped
of
him getting a
chems.
chem strike, and I've taken him away from his spot.
Speaking of chem strikes, Phoenix here got one about not too long ago.
I read
I've
about that.
noticed
Congratulations.
blast shield though on hardcore doesn't really protect you that much.
Actually,
did
it
nerf
does.
it
A
with
hell
recent
of a
patch.
lot.
I
Yeah.
continuously die with blast shield on and explosive.
Well, I've been running Blast Shield now, and I've been able to walk through IEDs, thermites. I've been noob tubed like 5 times in a row. I've had a freaking Panzerfaust shut up my ass, quite literally, and I still survived somehow.
Well, this kind of ties in with what we're going to be going over in this lesson, the situational awareness. If you're running Blast Shield and you find that your enemies are running Danger Close, then maybe it's time to switch to something
Definitely
else.
hang back. When I find out they're running Danger Close, I either hang back or I just try to dodge it.
Alright. Who knows the most useful perk in hardcore?
Dead silence.
Yeah. Amplify.
Amplify.
Yeah, by
Nope.
far.
Isn't it Incog?
No.
Fully loaded?
I'll give you a hint. There's only one right answer, and all of your answers are wrong right now. I'll repeat the question.
Really
What
a
is the
hint?
most useful perk in hardcore?
Light a fan.
No.
Teamwork.
That's not a
No,
perk.
that's not a perk.
Good answer, though. I'm going to take a guess and say rapid fire, because if the more bullets you can fill the air with, the higher the likelihood you're going to hit your
You're
enemy.
talking perks.
No, we're just talking straight perks, but rapid fire isn't a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, right. All right, rapid fire's on.
Most useful perk. Honestly, like. I'd
Ready,
probably
aim.
said blind eye.
I'm curious to
Nope,
hear what
they're
you're going to
both
say, because everyone has a different play style, and your perks fit your play style.
Bingo.
Say rep.
Godsife is right. There is no one godly perk
well, there
in
you go.
hardcore. Everybody has a different playstyle. Everybody can make use of almost any single perk in hardcore. I can make use of Marathon compared to somebody who can make better use of Agility. I can make better use of Amplify, whereas somebody can make better use of Dead Silence. Almost every single perk on that board in front of you has a very good use. Hardline, I know people who never use it. You run an Assault, that's useful. Deadeye, I know people who run fucking guns that take a while to kill somebody. Like, let's say the Maverick, or let's say, I don't know, the ARX, the FAD. Guns that actually at a long distance take some bullets, like the AK-12 for example. You run Deadeye, that now cuts that bullet percent in half. You can drop them with 1 bullet now, instead of 4 bullets at long range, because of Deadeye. Everybody's playstyle reflects them as a person, reflects them on what they like to do, and each perk coincides with that. I know there are people who run Stalker and can fuck my day up. I can't run Stalker. I can't. I don't know why. It just doesn't work well with my class setup. I've tried different classes with it. It's just not a perk that works with me. 1 second.
Yeah, good.
There. What's the outside?
Oh, I was just gonna fill the dead air. That's all. Go ahead, continue.
Sorry, yeah. My grandma fucking came in. Anyway, so we've already established that takedown, recon, well, recon is half, I would say, but takedown is a completely useless perk in hardcore. So let's switch over to core. What perks are useless in core?
I'd have said danger. Well, I'd have said danger close to be fair. They sponge most of the noobs anyway.
Well,
Everything?
what's useless in core?
Oh, useless. Oh, I said useful.
I would say one of the most useless ones would be like extra tactical.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. You throw. Alright, Phoenix, how
I'd
you
say
going?
it's the
Alright,
same
Phoenix.
as God Scythe, to be fair. There is no real bad perk for fucking hardcore.
Bingo.
It's still kind of everywhere.
If you look at every perk on this board, every perk has a use in core, but not every perk has a use in hardcore. Amplify can be used in core. Off the grid, core. Incog, core. Steady aim, core. Reflex, core. Especially if you're using a riot shield. Riot shield, throw C4. Riot shield, switch to your pistol. That would be something Reflex comes in use for. Deadeye, especially useful in core. Danger Close, especially useful in core. Everything has a use. So, who here thinks they have... Who here dies a lot with their classes? Like with a class that they constantly run?
I die a lot in core. I have a hard time in core. Not so much in Ghost,
Why
I'll
do
be
you
honest. But other games were worse. But I just don't like. I feel like people are bullet sponges, and it takes me too long to take them down. And I feel like 90% of the gun battles that I'm facing in core, I lose.
Alright.
And most of the time, you'll hear me
Flatliner
bitching about
just-
lag.
Yeah. Flatliner, just so you're aware, we are doing boot camp. Just explain a few things. Questions are open from time to time, but for now, just pay attention. So for every single game mode and map and team that you face, there's a certain class loadout that you could use. Obviously, in hardcore, muzzle brake isn't exactly a necessity. In hardcore, people love to sound whore. So, to counteract that, silencer, dead silence, knifing, melees, crouch walking, being cautious around corners. Like people like to run support now. So, blind eye is a useful trick, so is incog and off the grid. Blind eye, oracle systems, bye-bye. Undetected by air support, it's pretty good if they bring in a scout helo or any kind of assault kill streak, because assault kill streaks carry a lot of air support. Incog, resistant to targeting systems including recon, thermal scope, tracker sight, motion sensor, no name, red crosshairs, or enemy callouts when targeted. You hear your squad mate call out people? He's by the bridge, he's on the dirt road, he's on the hill. Incog prevents that completely. Off the grid, SATCOM and radar pings. You run over a motion sensor, you're fine. It's not going to trigger. SATCOM and Incog share a dual purpose for that. Radar ping, if somebody's using ping under the elite section of perks, bang, nullified immediately. Those two perks, Incog and off the grid, wipe out half the board of useful perks right immediately, but they come at a cost, 6 points. So, those two coupled with blind eye, what class do you think would be very effective with those three perks?
Run and gun.
I would say
not really.
sniping.
Run gun, you have to kind of be agile and be able to be ready to pull up your
Sniper.
gun. If you're bingo. If you're running a sniper class, you're stationary. No need for you to move. you get the right kind of class set up with your sniper rifle, you're now invisible to everything on the map, minus somebody actually looking at you with their eyes.
And I've actually done that class setup with those perks before. The silent sniper rifle to even add it more stealthy, and I've changed some games where it was like we're losing dramatically, and I drop in, I start doing what I do best with the sniping and everything stealthy, and they eventually try to figure out where you are, and eventually get those kill streaks that help everyone out. Because I run support with a sniper.
Exactly, and even assault is a good plan for the fact that you run, let's say, incog, off the grid, blind eye, and then hardline. Let's say you run a SATCOM to help your teammates out, Trinity rocket, and let's say Helo pilot. Trinity rocket and Helo pilot are 5 apart. SATCOM and Trinity rocket are 4 apart. So instead of getting 3 kills to get a SATCOM, you need 2. 7 kills to get a Trinity rocket, 6. 12 kills to get a Helo pilot, 11. When you break it down, it still helps out quite a bit. Alright. So, a lot of things that I see that we do need to work on in terms of situational awareness is being aware of what people are running. So, for an example, we all come onto strike zone. It is the dumbest thing on the fucking planet to try and run all 6 of us with a sniper rifle. It'd be amusing for about 30 seconds till we got our shit pushed in. But after that, it would be completely aggravating and unnecessary because we would be dying so much. They would triple cap us in an instant. Even having one sniper on strike zone is very edgy for the fact that it's a close quarters map. People can cover a great amount of distance in an extremely short time because it's such a tight map. So we're strike zone, 90% of people run and gun. The other 10% of people camp. Within that 10%, there's about 5% who use explosives, tubes, grenades, thermobarics, and just whip them. Just fucking chuck them across the map, praying to get somebody. And you know what they do? I've had a guy whip a fucking thermobaric out of bar into my camping spot on the left side there by A flag on domination and peg me, like physically hit me with it. It explode and then kill me and somebody else who was right there. Reason being, people get desperate when they get their shit pushed in. So when you have that kind of thing happening, you gotta start calling it out. Somebody starts throwing thermobarics like, hey, I just got killed by a thermobaric, be careful. Somebody's randomly chucking them. You know, you see a grenade go off right at somebody's feet, and he doesn't die. Instead of screaming, oh, that's fucking bullshit, you're fucking lagging, this is horse shit, I don't even want to play this. That oxygen that you just wasted blabbing about all that shit could have just been spent to say, hey, somebody's running blast shields, watch out. Somebody could have been, okay, and the second they say, okay, they die, and they just switch to a new tube class, or with danger close, whatever they're running, they can now counteract that guy with blast shield. Somebody running with off the grid and all that stuff, they're not going to be fast. So say you run into bar and you get killed by a sniper in the back. Again, saying, oh, that's fucking bullshit, he's camping in the back, this is fucking retarded, I don't want to do this, why are we doing this, why are we even in the bar? Again, all that oxygen, completely wasted when you could have just said, guy sniping in back of bar, somebody get him. Somebody else can respond with, alright, I got an explosive, I can whip it back there and get him. So it takes half the oxygen spent, half the time taken, guy dropped. Because you didn't call him out, more of your teammates are going to die by him. And if you think kills don't matter in objective games, let me tell you this. You ever been suppressed by a Helo pilot to the point you couldn't move? Ever been tactically nuked? Yeah. Ever been pushed in by a juggernaut? Reason being, somebody's fed them kills. When you notice on the scoreboard, you know, one guy continuously getting kills, look at where people are starting to die at, you know, top of hill on prison break. People are getting dropped from there. He's sniping at the bottom of the hill. What's the logical thing to do? A, run up to the top of the hill. B, run around the hill in his direction. Or C, run through stumps. Or D, try and throw an explosive. Exactly. Either throw an explosive at him, or run through stumps. Feeding him kills is utterly useless. Sure, his kills don't count.
Sorry.
surely his kills don't count towards the score of domination. But I'm telling you this right now, it's kind of hard to go and capture a flag when you got a helo pilot raining fire down on you. And if you can't even get your kills up or your points up to try and get air superiority, it's kind of hard, especially in hardcore. Yeah, sure, you may have blast shield or whatever on, but that helo pilot's going to fuck you up before you're able to put a fair amount of bullets in him. And even with armor piercing, that helo pilot is able to move pretty freely in the air. It's hard for him to kind of just stop motion, unless he's an idiot. Which is possible. There are some people who don't know how to use the helo pilot properly. They don't have enough practice with it, or they just don't care and they're just dumb enough to let it sit there. But in the scenario that he's moving around freely and he's got that helo pilot, it's not a good idea to keep feeding him kill streaks, because you know what? His helo pilot can earn him a Loki. He can drop a Juggernaut on B. He can drop a giant titanium rod on fucking A. He can drop care packages containing anything from a Loki all the way down to a SATCOM. And sure, his kill streaks can't earn him a fucking tactical nuke. But that's only 6 kills from a tactical nuke. His kill streak can earn him a lot more, can suppress us, can stop us from getting to the objective, can get us to get frustrated, can cause our teamwork to fail because we're getting frustrated, we're not talking properly, can cause us to have a lot of things not work anymore. He can take out our kill streaks mid-air, he can take them out on the ground. We have an IMS protecting C or A, for example. That Loki can drop a fucking 1 titanium rod, bang, gone, peace. No more IMS. We now have no defense on it. Zero, you wanted to say something?
Zero?
Yeah. Okay.
I got something to say in order of kills. Also, like, 9 times out of 10, if somebody's capping B, don't just, like, keep running and trying to cap over top of them. Like, if you sit back and pick up 5 kills of their 6 team, they're going to spawn at the back of A, then you will be able to cap B pretty freely. You know, like, we always say, well, people have 50 kills, but they don't have any caps, like they wasn't doing nothing. But without them people having 50 kills, you wasn't going to cap any flags anyways. You know, so just because somebody's not capping, but they're killing, doesn't mean that they're not, like, playing the objective. But, you know, you're not going to cap, like, B, for instance, on Octane. You're not going to cap B unless you have a guy picking people off that's coming into B to kill you. So,
exactly. Like, for example, you have 2 on the pawn shop, 2 in the center, 1 on the right side, and then 1 other guy going towards B. Without those 5 guys covering you, you're nothing. You're going to get shot and dropped and killed, massacred, and fucked up. Flat out how it is. Because of the factor that you are nothing without a team, don't think that because you have a team, you're Rambo. Sometimes all it takes is for one person to lose that good spot on the map, for them all to push through that spot. Somebody loses their spot on the right side, gotta call it out. Somebody loses their spot on the left side, call it out. It's all about teamwork and communication and being aware of what's going on. So if you notice that, hey, Mojo was on the left side protecting Pawn Shop on Octane, he gets shot out. Say, hey Mojo, are you okay over there? No man, I just died. I think they're coming through left side. Okay. So somebody from gas station who's kind of close say, hey, I'm going to split off from gas station, go protect the left side till Mojo's back. Or even say, well, hey Mojo, you're getting pretty ripped up over there. How about I switch you? You come to gas station, I'll go over to the pawn shop. This stops them. Because now not only they're expecting a guy, say, in the bottom window of pawn shop, they're not expecting a guy to now be moving up to the top of pawn shop and start picking them up top. People don't understand that once you change a playstyle in the middle of a game, it completely fucks up the enemy. Absolutely destroys them. People, once they have their shit pushed in, they don't know how to adapt to it. That's why learning how to adapt is the golden key of this game. You can do that, you can win any fucking fight. That's pretty much it for covering it. I went past my time limit by about... Actually, no, because we started at 3:30. So 50. Yeah, I'll let the next 50 minutes. Any questions? Anything you guys want to pitch in? Anything like that?
I think we should have a 4-on-4 while we're here.
Just
see if we
while we're at
can
it.
show each other some spots and, I mean, we've got 15 minutes left or whatever in the session.
Okay. Anybody else with any
We
questions,
chip
anything
teams
like that?
and
I already got class set up and everything. My class I've been using this whole entire time. I've been having good luck in core and hardcore.
Very good.
I only have to
Alright,
make like one adjustment to it. That's about it.
Yeah, usually the only adjustment I have to make is muzzle breaker silencer.
Are we doing the core or hardcore settings?
I always
I
take
think we
majority
should
vote
do-
on things.
I think we should do core because most of us play hardcore.
yeah, it'd be good practice. I guess.
Okay, well, again, I'll run down the list and take votes. Mojo wants core. Dane, what do you want?
I'll play core.
Okay, 2 for core. Godsafe, what do you want?
What is it that we're doing?
Hardcore or core?
No, what are we
Making a
doing
decision.
now? What is the objective of what? Are we just
Have a
playing?
4v4,
Or-
just play.
4v4 just to play.
Oh, well then of course I would say hardcore.
Okay. 1 for core, 2 for hardcore. Or 1 for hardcore, 2 for hardcore, sorry. UK, what do you want?
I'm gonna go core because it's my worst game type.
Alright, 3 for core, 1 for hardcore. Asian, what do you want?
I'm gonna
Asian-
go with Godsafe on
Yeah.
hardcore.
Thank you.
2 on hardcore. Zero, what do you want?
I'm with Godsafe as well.
Okay, that's 3 hardcore, 3 core. Flatliner, what do you want?
Flatliner.
Hardcore.
Alright, 4 hardcore.
Looks like we're going.
Oh, we gotta ask Zeno.
Switch some
Oh,
perks.
he just left.
Alright. Unfortunately, it's majority vote, so I'll take... If we finish a game of hardcore, we'll go over to core, just to be fair. My
Yeah,
vote was
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be hardcore as well, so that would have made
I only
5.
had to change one perk anyway, so I'm
Alright.
alright to go.
How do you guys want to do teams? Do you want to select a captain, or
I think we
what
should
do you guys
all
wanna do?
sign.
Just do
Just
auto.
auto sign it.
Yep.
That works.
Roll the dice,
TDM,
as someone would say.